In Romania during the Cold War, a group of individuals entered a prohibited zone, and their guide directed them to climb the Carpathian Mountains to reach their desired location. Despite encountering significant challenges, they eventually discovered an abandoned church that led to a unique passageway to the crypts. Within the crypts, the group discovered an exquisite engraved artwork that depicted unusual winged demons. Although they had heard of a concealed cave filled with gold, they were unable to locate an entry point, leading them to resort to explosive means. Regrettably, this resulted in the destruction of another eerie yet remarkable piece of artwork. Regrettably, before long, the entire church begins to shake vigorously, and the ground gives way, causing the men to plummet below while a landslide destroys the structure, trapping the group beneath the rubble. However, they are fortunate to have all survived the ordeal, prompting them to investigate the peculiar bat-like noises that persistently echo around them. After discovering a river that runs deep inside, a decision is made to hire a team of expert explorers to investigate. Meanwhile, in Yucatan, Mexico, Tyler and his team of divers are on the hunt for an underwater cave. Despite initially struggling, Tyler perseveres until he finds the cave. Upon his return to the boat, he appears quite pleased with himself, but his brother Jack reminds him of the importance of safety protocols and following the group's agreed-upon time limits. Later that evening, they receive a call from Dr. Nikolai, who seeks to hire them to explore the cave beneath the church ruins. He promises that the cave extends beyond 19 miles and expresses a desire to document the expedition. The team is intrigued by the concept and accepts the job, arriving at the exploration site the next day to prepare their equipment. While doing so, Tyler notices Catherine, a scientist, and intends to introduce himself and flirt. However, he misses his chance as the cameraman, Alex, is present. Tyler does manage to showcase his diving equipment, but Nikolai interrupts their conversation by introducing Jack to Catherine. The two scientists hit it off due to their shared interest in cave ecosystems, leaving Tyler feeling jealous and left behind. Meanwhile, Alex captures pictures of something strange, which turns out to be the remains of a human found in the cave. At nightfall, groups of scientists and explorers convene to review the data they have gathered thus far. Titan Hall, an immense cavern located approximately 300 feet below ground, has been discovered along with a sump that leads to an underwater passage. However, they require a dry chamber in the cave system where they can establish a base and gather samples, as they anticipate remaining there for 12 days due to the size of the cave. During the meeting, survival expert Top reminds everyone of the discovery of a corpse and emphasizes the need for caution and respect for the cave. Following the meeting, Nikolai recounts the history of the cave to Tyler and Catherine. According to legend, the church was constructed to seal off the cave and demonstrate God's protective might. Judging from the damaged artwork, the knights ventured into the cave to combat demons. The next day, the team sets out to descend into the abyss. The Titan Hall astounds them with its breathtaking beauty, prompting them to ready their gear for the expedition. They elect Briggs as the initial scout, and he eagerly dives into the water. After a few minutes of swimming, he discovers a bend in the cave. Using his communicator, he informs the others that his signal may weaken soon and promises to contact them again once he's established the fiber optics on the opposite side. While the group waits, Tyler expresses his dissatisfaction about not being chosen because he believes he is the best scout on the team. However, Jack remains firm in his decision, using it as a form of punishment for Tyler's actions in Mexico. Meanwhile, Briggs continues to explore the area. Catherine approaches Tyler and offers him a spider in a tube as a consolation prize, and they bond over their mutual desire to be the first to discover something new. The rest of the team starts to worry about Briggs taking too long, but he calls and informs them that he has found the perfect place to set up camp, which is 2.4 miles from the main cave. He sends them a sonar scan of the route he took. Briggs was taken aback when he saw something dart past him, but he quickly grabbed it and brought it over to the team. It turned out to be a peculiar-looking mole, but the creature struggled in Briggs' grip and managed to escape. However, Briggs suddenly grew pale and announced the presence of something else. The communication link then began to falter, and within seconds, the team lost contact with Briggs. Suspecting a signal problem, they decided to send Tyler and sonar expert Strode to rectify the cable issues while the rest of the team ventured further into the tunnel. As they swim, the team is filled with wonder at the sights before them, including a massive animal skeleton. While most of the group remains to investigate, Jack and Top make their way to the base, where they find Briggs' equipment but no sign of Briggs himself. Their calls for him are answered by Briggs, who responds from a small opening in the cavern wall. He has discovered ancient equipment, indicating that they are not the first humans to have visited this location. Meanwhile, Tyler and Strode are busy with the underwater cables when they hear an odd noise. Investigating the source, Strode believes he spots one of the moles, only to find a new cavern and a brutally slain mole on the ground. At the same time, Tyler notices that the cables appear to have been gnawed, and suddenly Strode is viciously attacked by a demonic creature. As the rest of the team joins Jack and Top, Tyler hears Strode screaming through the communicator and frantically searches for him. The resulting shockwave catapults Tyler to the surface, where he relays the events to his colleagues. Despite Jack and Top's attempts to investigate, the entrance remains obstructed, and a constant stream of rocks forces them to make a hasty retreat underwater. Jack starts by informing the team that they are trapped, and until the planned 12 days pass, nobody will realize they are missing. Their main priority is to find a way out, but Briggs expresses nervousness about the idea due to the attack on Strode. Tyler argues that Strode may have had a hallucination, and Top agrees that their focus should be on survival. Nikolai believes that the cave is too vast to explore, and they may get lost. Therefore, he suggests waiting out the 12 days. However, Jack disagrees and thinks that even the best rescuers would not be able to find them in the cave. Jack and Top proceed to search for an exit while the others rest. Tyler's downplaying of Strode's death has made Briggs angry and led to him making mean implications about their separation. This prompts Tyler to punch Briggs, resulting in a fistfight that Charlie has to intervene to stop. Meanwhile, Catherine uses her time to examine samples taken from a dead mole and a salamander. When she presents her findings to Nikolai, he confirms her suspicions that a strange parasite is present in the cave. Shortly after, Jack and Top discover a section with bubbling water and evidence that more people had been in the area before. After wriggling through a narrow tunnel, they are confronted by a swarm of white scorpions blocking their path. Jack illuminates the area with a flare to get a better view, but an unfamiliar creature attacks him, attempting to drag him away. Fortunately, Jack manages to sever the creature's claw, freeing himself. Top notices that Jack has sustained severe injuries on his back and rushes him back to the base to treat his wounds. Catherine examines the severed claw and speculates that the animals in the cave used to be the same as those on the surface, but due to extended periods of habitation, they underwent evolution and lost their vision in exchange for heightened senses of smell and hearing. Nikolai believes they have stumbled upon an entirely new ecosystem, and Alex notes that the claw bears a striking resemblance to the demonic creatures depicted in church artwork. Despite the potential danger, Nikolai suggests waiting to explore further, but the team collectively decides to press on and find an exit before becoming prey. While traversing the cave, they discover a pile of human bones exhibiting bite marks, confirming the presence of a predator. Upon reaching a fork in the path, Jack volunteers to scout ahead, which irritates Briggs, who suggests using sonar instead. However, upon examining the unexplored path, Briggs detects movement on the sonar. Despite his fears of what might be inside, Briggs sets aside his pride and decides to follow Jack and the others. The group begins their ascent by scaling a few walls, and Jack surprises Top by detecting the smell of water. After a short time, Jack's intuition proves correct as they stumble upon a river. To check for any potential dangers, Jack throws a flare into the water while Alex captures the moment on camera. Unexpectedly, Jack becomes furious with Alex and pushes him away, causing him to drop the camera into the river. However, Alex confronts Jack about his behavior, which ultimately snaps Jack out of his anger and leads to him apologizing. Jack announced that they would take a 20-minute break and went to sit alone on a rock, trembling in pain. From a distance, Top noticed this and informed Tyler that the medicine was not effective. Jack was suddenly surprised to discover that he could hear what everyone was saying, even if they were not close to him. At that moment, Tyler approached to check on his brother, but Jack insisted that he was okay and asked for his trust. After their rest, the group returned to the water while Jack concealed the pain he was experiencing. The strong current posed a challenge and the team was concerned that they might get lost in the rapids. Jack, in a fit of anger, insists that the team has no choice but to follow him as he believes it is the only available exit, despite Alex warning him about the dangers of this decision. While navigating through the rapids, Catherine becomes stuck and Tyler is unable to assist her due to the strong current. The current carries Tyler away from the group, while Nikolai clings onto a rock after sustaining a leg injury from being pushed against the cave wall by the current. Eventually, Tyler falls down a waterfall, and Catherine follows shortly after, revealing to Tyler that she was caught by something. Charlie catches up to them and informs them of something unusual in the water. Tyler stumbled upon some peculiar eels with large teeth during his inspection. He employed a flare to scare them off, and just then, the other three individuals made contact with them by lighting a flare to signal their position. As Tyler and the girls headed towards the others, they heard Nikolai plummeting off the waterfall. Jack volunteered to search for him, but they heard Nikolai's screams, indicating that something was attacking him. Catherine expressed her desire to assist him, but Top reminded the group to remain within a protective circle and wait calmly. As Jack tracks a trail of blood, he stumbles upon a monstrous creature dragging Nikolai away. He pursues them and eventually witnesses the beast carrying the lifeless body of Nikolai through a narrow passage. Jack notices tattooed letters on the creature's hand, suggesting that it was once human. Meanwhile, Alex panics as she senses movement in the water and thrashes about, scaring off the perceived threat. Jack returns to the group and recounts what he witnessed. As they continue onward, they hear peculiar sounds that they realize are echolocation, supporting the idea that the creatures are nearly blind. After some searching, they locate a current that appears to be the primary water flow leading outside. However, they are uncertain about its safety due to the creatures in the area. Jack decides that he and Tyler will handle the climb using their equipment, and Charlie offers to go first, but he declines. While preparing their gear, Catherine informs Tyler that Jack is too ill to lead, but Jack overhears her. In the meantime, Charlie takes advantage of their distraction and begins to climb, reaching the edge swiftly. At the top, she senses a draft and signals for the others to follow. But upon further inspection, Charlie discovers a massive bat-like creature that roars at her. Startled, she retreats and slips off the edge, losing consciousness for a moment. Fortunately, the rope supports her, and when she regains consciousness, she realizes that the beast is pursuing her. The team started working on getting her out, but their progress was too slow. Charlie came up with a plan to swim her rope while using her flamethrower to keep the beast away. When she had enough momentum, she cut the rope and jumped onto an adjacent wall, thinking she was out of harm's way. However, the creature was able to fly and quickly attacked her. Charlie fought back using her flamethrower, ultimately killing the creature but losing her own life in the process. The team recovered Charlie's body and noticed that Jack's appearance had changed, his pupils were dilated and his skin was pale. Upon realizing that Jack's body is changing like the other animals and people that were previously present, Catherine finally understands that the parasite entered through his wounds. Tyler, Jack's brother, attempts to defend him and his choices, but Catherine, Alex, and Briggs refuse to listen and opt to take the main water flow they had noticed earlier. Following Charlie's elimination of the creature, Jack, Tyler, and Top ascend the wall as the corridor is now secure. They soon arrive at a steep frozen cliff, where Jack determines that they must descend. Unfortunately, Tyler slips and barely manages to grasp onto an edge, causing his rebreather to fall and strike Top, resulting in him sliding down and injuring his leg. As the rebreather descends, it creates an opening in the icy wall, uncovering a new cave. Upon exploration, the group discovers numerous skeletons dressed in medieval armor, verifying Nikolai's tale. Further into the cave, Jack spots daylight shining through the rippling water, indicating an escape route. However, Jack begins to experience illness yet again, though he disregards it and urges his companions to depart while he continues to look for the remaining individuals. Tyler declines to agree with the proposed plan due to Jack's obvious illness. This causes Jack to become very angry and almost instigate a physical altercation. However, Top intervenes and convinces Jack that Tyler should be the one to seek out the other individuals. In the meantime, Catherine and the others are preparing to swim, but Briggs hears an approaching creature. He instructs his companions to flee while he illuminates a flare, but the animal is unfazed and still attacks him. At the same time, Jack and Top encounter a creature as well. They manage to avoid injury by moving out of its path, but the beast snatches one of their rebreathers as it flies by. Tyler continued his journey through the water, paying no attention to the lurking eels. As he emerged from the water, he was horrified to see his team's equipment drenched in blood. Suddenly, screams pierced the air, prompting Tyler to investigate. He quickly followed the sound and discovered that the beast had taken Briggs captive. Tyler knew he had to act fast to save his friend, so he crawled through a narrow crevice to reach him. However, Tyler was too late as the creature had already impaled Briggs on the sharp stalactites. Catherine was further into the tunnel and handed Tyler his pickaxe. In a tragic turn of events, the monster reappeared, prompting Tyler to flee deeper into the tunnel. However, his escape was short-lived as he encountered yet another vicious creature on the other side. Fortunately, Catherine is also encountered by Tyler. She utilizes her sonar to emit powerful sound waves that frighten the creature away since sound is its weakness. Together, the pair flee until they reach a river and take the plunge while sharing Tyler's rebreather. However, as they navigate through a narrow passage, they lose the rebreather, and Catherine loses consciousness. Tyler must then haul her to the surface while performing CPR, which revives her swiftly. Suddenly, they hear a peculiar noise, but it's only Alex alerting them that the monster is pursuing him. After Tyler discovers an ice vein, he assumes it connects to the one previously found by Jack. As a result, the group quickly begins their ascent. Soon after, they come across a cavern with skeletons and reunite with Jack and Top. The creatures in the cave are suspended from the ceiling in a way that suggests they are anticipating something, indicating the group needs to act quickly. Despite sharing their rebreathers, they don't have enough, so Jack decides to retrieve the one stolen by a monster. While the others head towards the water, they accidentally drop a rebreather, which creates enough noise to draw the attention of one of the creatures. Alex used sonar to fend off the creature, but it began to shatter stalactites that fell on Alex and caused a leg injury. Tyler attempted to return and assist him, but the monster reached Alex first and killed him. Another creature approached them from the water, prompting Top and Catherine to hide in order to avoid detection via echolocation. Despite Top's attempt to repel it with the rebreather, the monster persisted, but Tyler intervened and killed it using a machete. In the meantime, Jack fled from a third monster and climbed a wall to retrieve the final rebreather, which he obtained by striking the creature to cause it to fall. As more creatures approached, Jack gave one of the tanks to his brother and placed a flare in the other, which he then hurled into the water. As the tank explodes, the entire cave trembles, causing all the monsters to become distracted except for one. This creature heads straight for Jack, who quickly jumps on top of it, bringing it down into the water as a sacrifice to aid his friends. The cave begins to collapse, but Tyler, Catherine, and Top swim towards the light, finally reaching safety outside. Several days later, Tyler bids farewell to Top before meeting Catherine at a cafe in the city. He ponders whether Jack could have survived outside due to his mutation, but Catherine is unsure. As she kisses Tyler on the cheek, she explains her theory that the parasite desired to exit. Tyler notices Catherine's pupils changing, similar to Jack's, and becomes fearful. As Catherine departs, Tyler frantically tries to pursue her to prevent the parasite from taking over humanity, but he loses her in the crowd.